Hey everybody, it's Robot here from Vespa Motorsport here in San Diego, scooterwest.com for all things Vespa here in North America. What am I sitting on? Oh, this is my brand new 2019 Vespa Sprint. There's a problem with it. This is the American market one. It's got this pretty cool tail light, looks pretty cool. Brake light, I don't know what these do. They don't do anything. They're cool and red, but they don't do anything on this bike. I want to change that. We do have the kits and featured in many other videos to remove these. I'm not going to talk about that in this video. This is a super simple, quick mod. I swear it's going to take 5 minutes to install. MI200-PR-REAR. And you can see it's got some custom connectors right there, factory OEM connections, and this quick tap and a couple zip ties. Real inexpensive kit. But what it does is it livens up these two lights. And you get a choice. You can either make a set of extra brake lights, or you can make all three running lights. So you have 3 tail lights. And I'll show you how to install this. Jump right into it. Some basic tools are needed. A number 2 Phillips, a diagonal cutter, and the last tool, if you want to call it a tool, is a paper clip. Straightened out. So first step is to take out the 2 screws that hold these quote-unquote dead lights on your American market 2019 or later Primavera Sprint. 2 screws, remove these, and voila, look at this. There's even a connector and a bulb and everything. They left that all there. That was nice of them. I'm going to go ahead and remove the bulb. Just turn it counterclockwise, a quarter turn, release it, repeat, disengage that connector. We're not going to cut any of the zip ties or anything, but there's going to be a simple mod that we're going to do to this. So we're going to disconnect this little connector right here. And you can see there's only 1 wire in that connection. So go ahead and lift that little tab right there. And then this little red thing, usually you can get your nail between it, or if you're having difficulty, go ahead and get like a needle nose or a flat blade screwdriver. You can remove that little guy. Take your straightened out paper clip. You got one that has a metal connection. The other one, it's going to pop out this little rubber cap. See that little cap just pop right out? Pretty simple. So pretty much repeat that with the other side. Again, pry out the little red. This is called a terminal lock, is what it does. It locks the terminals from ever pulling out. You can set the little rubber doohickeys out of the way. You don't need those. Go ahead and pop those out. Open up your kit. I got my 2 screws, my 2 terminal locks that we'll reuse. And in this little kit, there's a pair of wires connected to a quick tap and these 2 guys here. So pretty simple. You want to take this terminal. You can see there's a little slot in it. It won't go in the wrong way. So, I'm lining up the slot where it lines up with that thing. Push it in. You'll hear a little click, or you'll feel it click right in. And then once it grabs the terminal, it's in there. It looks identical to the other terminal because it's the factory pins that the manufacturer uses. So there's no cutting wires or anything. Pop the little terminal back in. The next step is we want to feed this to the other side. And if you feel around up there, I'm sorry I don't have, I'm not showing this, but you could feed the wiring along with the factory wiring. It feeds above all this stuff. And pretty much there's a mount for the fuel tank that's on the top. And then you could pull that right over here. And we got that connector on this side. So go ahead and again, the little slot goes up at the top. Push that right in, clicks in, you're done. And sometimes it's a little stubborn to get in. May have to jiggle it. See how I just moved it around a little bit and snap right in. Then you can plug these back in. And you got this extra bonus wire right here. In 2 ways we could go about tapping into the wiring right here. See this main wiring that comes in right here and goes to, the wiring's gonna go to your tail light. Forgot to show the tool of a knife, but I just kind of assume everybody has a knife on them. So very, very carefully just open up the sheathing. You know, you don't want to cut any of the wires in there, but you look in here, and on this one, you're going to find the yellow wire. This is the wire that goes to your license plate light. So say I want to have these as running lights. You would tap it into this. And I'm just going to show for example real quick. So go ahead and unscrew the little gray ferrule. You're going to straddle this across that yellow wire. This is if you want to have the pair of dead lights as a running light. And the way you start this is usually I kind of unthread it like I'm unscrewing something, and then start screwing it onto the thing. What there is a little silver coated needle that punctures the wire just with a very small hole. Since these bulbs draw very low current, you know, they don't need it. And right now you wouldn't want to do this, but I'm just going to tuck this in and just show you as an example of it in turn cells. I think ultimately I'm going to run them as brake lights on this model. So just set them in place, show you what it does when you hook that to the yellow wire. Look at that. Does that look sharp? Get a lot more visibility. And you got 3 taillights. Okay, back to the drawing board right here. Pull these back out. I'll show you the steps to set them up as the brake light, and also how to button up the wiring so it looks all nice and not a rat's nest in here. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect this. And you can see it puts a very small pierce inside the wire. Not an issue. You know, the wire's right up here. I wouldn't want to puncture the wiring right at the tail right there, because that, you know, that wiring may, you know, if it gets wet, could corrode the wiring out, you know, over a long period of time. You know, if you're in some region where there's a lot of moisture, you know, another option is to wrap the wiring in, put some dielectric grease on it. So see this is the main wiring that goes to your brake light module. Again, I'm just going to carefully cut open the sheathing, and you're going to look for the white with black stripe, not the white with the blue stripe. The other sheathing that I opened up had the white with the blue stripe, but the white with the black stripe is the wire that powers your brake light. See how it has a black stripe on it? And I just separated it. Pretty simple to do once you find it in the harness. Go ahead and straddle that wire with the posi tap terminal. And for example, say if you were in a region where there's a lot of moisture and you wanted to protect the wires, all you got to do is take something like this, dielectric grease, and get a small tube of it. Very, very small amount. Is what that will do is prevent any corrosion on the wire terminals. So go ahead and tap right into that, and just like that yellow wire that I did for the running lights option, just thread it right in. So once you get that all buttoned up, you got some excess wire that you don't really want to have get wrapped up in anything. So usually you bundle it up all nice, and you could just bundle it right with the main wiring. You know, I include a couple of zip ties. Technically you only need really one. Go ahead and put it right around there. Give that a little cut. Then we got the lens, that's your right side lens. Go ahead and put the bulb on. Don't forget there's a slot that holds that connector. So all this is all nice and tidy right now. And on this side, everything's already pretty tidy, so don't really need a zip tie. Could add one if you wanted to. Slide that right into the slot right there. Last screw. And voila, we're done. And I'll show it to you in brake light mode. Look at that, tons more visibility. So when you hit the brakes, you get 3 lights lighting up. And it's all personal preference. If you want to be running lights, you could do that. If you want 3 running lights, or if you want the brake lights. Quick installation, hope everybody likes it. If you want to take it to the next level and Euro your bike out, check out the MI200-PR and -PR Deluxe or DLX and PR-FRT for the front kit. This is the least expensive kit we have. You saw it's pretty much nothing to it. All plug and play. We're not cutting any wires or soldering any wires. Super simple to install. Hope everybody liked it. Until next time, Robot here, Vespa Motorsport.